Hello everybody, BeatLessBuddy here, and welcome back to episode 2 of Pixel Bits. The Pixel Gun show full of trivia, cut content, and so much more. Today, we love gadgets. We use gadgets all the time. Whether you're throwing shurikens down a hallway or flying around with a jetpack, we use them all the time. So, we know that there may have been some gadgets that didn't make the cut, or, as of recent, gadgets that are no longer here. So, why don't we take a look at some cut and scrapped gadgets. Now, starting 22.6.2 and onward, 2 gadgets have been cut from the game and since replaced by 2 new gadgets. Starting with what was before the flashbang. For it, the firework. This gadget was practically useless. How it worked was, you would throw down a small firework that would stay on the ground for a few seconds. After those few seconds passed, it would shoot up and explode. Any character that walked on it would then be caught by the grenade and it would shoot up and explode. Now, no one used this gadget. Already starting off, it was a rare gadget, so damage was minimal, and even then, very situational. You had to toss the firecracker or the firework down and hope someone stepped on it before it shot up on its own and then exploded, because it's on a timer. From what I remember, it was a 5 to 10 second timer. You toss it down in that time period, it was done. You just wasted your gadget. So, there was no use in ever using the firework. It just was probably the worst gadget in the game. And that's why, as of now, it has been replaced by, in my opinion, a more fun gadget being the flashbang, which basically gives everyone a blindness weapon. Now, there was a second gadget that was cut from the game in 22.6 and replaced. What we have now is the teleport grenade. I'm not calling it the grenade teleport, it's a teleport grenade. Which, for this, you toss, you get teleported to the place where it landed at. I think it has a slight damage effect. But before, in Steel Division, we had the Pocket Harpoon. Pocket Harpoon was very simple. Wherever you're pointing, you would fire a grappling hook, like any of the grapple weapons that we have. But, once it latched onto a surface, it would pull you, and anyone in your path would take damage. Not a lot, but it still dealt damage. And from what I remember, it had like a 12-second cooldown, if not shorter. So you could just grapple around, wait a few seconds, grapple, wait a few seconds, grapple. Now this was added when very, very few grapple weapons were in the game. We had, I think, just pulling sucker and vertical grip. So this made a little sense being in the game. But now in like 22.6, when this was cut, there had been so many grappling hook weapons. There's basically a grappling hook weapon in every category. Like, backup has pulling sucker. Melee has 3 grapple hooks. Special has, I think, 2 grapple hooks, if not 3. Sniper has 1. And Heavy has a couple grappling hooks too. So there's like 5+ grappling hook weapons now. And I think some can even be bought for coupons. So really, the grappling hook kind of just got phased out. Especially with one of the latest ones just being able to be obtained from the Battle Pass, being the ODM Special Gear. And plus, it only took your melee slot. So our poor little grappling hook gadget was cut and replaced with our teleport grenade, which is a little bit more effective, but now has like nearly triple the cooldown what the grappling hook had. Now, out of all these gadgets, all the tools, there's one gadget, to my knowledge, that I have been told about that never even got put into the game, only exists, or is either still in the game files or was cut from the game files. What I have been sent before was this. It survives as just an icon. But from what I was told, it was called the UFO call. And from what I could guess from that name, it works as basically probably an air support charge, where maybe, I'm gonna guess probably where you were looking. Either where you were looking or at a point in front of you, you would activate this and it would bring in probably a UFO, and it would either fire a laser or drop a bomb, some sort of AoE effect based on where you're either looking or at a set point in front of you. Now, that sounds really cool. Having the ability to press a button and immediately have probably a high damage AoE just get lobbed in front of you would be a really cool concept for a gadget. But even then, even thinking about it, that doesn't make a lot of sense as having to wait on an airstrike to then hit where you're looking. Because we have so many just throwable grenades. You know, if you want a grenade, you toss a frag. You want area denial, you've got the Molotov and the Phoenix Blood to do that. You want area, you want to clump everyone up, you toss the Singularity Grenade for sucking in everyone. You want both a mix of the Molotov and the grenade, you toss the Nuke Grenade, which just gives you that full area of effect, or area denial, and AoE splash damage. So it doesn't make as much sense in the context of the current game's, how the gameplay is now. But still, the concept of being able to call in an alien airstrike at one point on the map is really cool to think about. I would use this purely for the fun. It's like me running around with the flash grenade. I like to just huck that into a choke point and then run in and shoot anyone in front of me. So, I think it would be fun to either call in front of me, or where I'm looking, a full air support charge would be really cool to do. I can at least see it being moderately used in the current meta. Because really, you could use more throwing gadgets. Throwing and tools are very lopsided. There are far more tools than throwing. But in terms of gadgets, there's one more thing that has been cut from the game. Throwing and tools were not the only two gadget slots. Gadgets used to exist in 3 categories. Granted, they really didn't make much sense. Because before, it used to go throwing, tools, support. Support gadgets really didn't have much to them. But it's where Resurrection was. But there were 3 separate tabs. So, once that happened, though, those 3 tabs were then scrunched into 2. And now, as our third gadget, quote-unquote, third gadget, you have the module combos acting as our third gadget. But you can go back into like old gameplay videos on YouTube and you can see 3 distinct gadget slots. One of these days, I kind of want to record a video going back and seeing those 3 gadget slots, but there really isn't much in terms of cut gadgets besides us losing Firework and Pocket Harpoon, and then also never seeing the UFO call. So I hope one day we see the UFO call. I think it'd be a really cool gadget, or who knows, they'll turn it into a weapon. But this has been episode 2 of Pixel Bits, going over the cut, scrapped gadgets of Pixel Gun. Now, if y'all like this type of content, you know what to do. Like, comment, and even subscribe. I would love to continue making this series of random trivia, cut content, and even more beyond that. So, feel free. If you do subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you don't like my content, you can unsubscribe whenever you want. So, I'll see y'all around in the next episode of Pixel Bits.